You know what? I think I'm gonna title this bike "Why I Like My H2R More Than H2," or the other way around, because I'm noticing a lot of differences already. The main thing, which hopefully we can fix today, is actually we might be putting my custom seat cover, which I'm very excited to show you guys. It was pretty pricey. I customized pretty much like the whole thing. So yeah, whenever you do stuff very custom and very different, like even the one on my H2 is custom, but this one's even like more custom. I'm excited for that one, and hopefully that will solve the issue of me sliding around everywhere. This bike is a little, not jumpy, but like it's smooth, but like when the power kicks, it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the H2 feels more responsive. This one is a little more dead, but like it's kind of like that when you let go of the throttle and you get back on, that is not smooth, you know what I mean? Like the initial feel, which makes me kind of slide around, because both the tank is very like this satin mirror chrome finish, as well as like the leather seat that comes on this bike are very slippery. So I'm kind of sliding around whenever that happens all over. I'm all going like back and forth. I would say the shifter on this bike, night and day difference. This is so much better and smoother because it's an OEM auto blipper quick shifter up and down. Holy! She just wanted to come up right away. I would say that this bike has a very different tone from my H2, 100%. I mean, it's a very different exhaust. This one has the H2R OEM exhaust, which is the best exhaust. And my H2 has the Brox, which sounds very different because it's stainless steel. It's still very light, but has a very different sharp tone. This one is like very loud and aggressive. The other one is more just like high pitch and sharp. So this one seems to me louder, but kind of over long periods of time, I think this hurts my ear more. And when it's idling, this one is definitely louder. I do have a video of literally starting all of my bikes and measuring the decibels and all that good stuff, because it's a very highly requested video. So I'm gonna be doing that very soon. Well, I'm literally working on it. I just don't want to start all of my bikes at the same time and have my neighbors complain, because, you know, I'm starting them, letting them warm up, and kind of like measuring the sound, also the decibel after it idles down and everything. But yeah, it definitely feels more natural to me to be on the H2. A little bit easier to ride because that bike is lowered. So, you know, since this bike sits kind of tall, you don't have to be as comfortable to feel like secure on the bike. With higher speeds too, like you saw this one, like in third gear, just gave it some gas and it started coming up right away. The H2 would have been like more planted. It's a little easier to control because it's lowered. If you guys didn't know, lowering the bike helps keeping the bike down, obviously. But also, it does, I think, make it look prettier and more aggressive. I'm not going to be doing that to this bike because if you guys didn't know, yeah, my H2 dropped. The kickstand literally failed. I wasn't even looking at it. I was moving some of the bikes around, and the H2 was on the smallest hill, which would have never happened if I had an OEM kickstand. But because I had an aftermarket kickstand, it doesn't kind of hold when it's all the way out. So any type of like push or like momentum, it just like folds right away. The OEM ones always have kind of like a spring that you have to kind of like, there's more resistance in the start. Oh, I don't know, since I've been riding the H2, I kind of, in low speeds, I clutch in, flat tire. I've been seeing a lot of flat tires on this road. Hopefully we don't get one. Auto blipper, since my H2 came with just a quick shifter up, not down, I had to install the downshift. And it's very aggressive and abrupt. It works well when it's higher in the RPM, but when it's stuff like this, it just either doesn't work, like you can't even push it, or it's just very kind of like abrupt and it jolts you like back and forth. So usually like in lower speeds like that, I just clutch in and like downshift normally. I don't know if you guys hear that, but right around 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, I mean, it keeps getting more and more intense, but you guys can't hear it because the exhaust gets louder. But that's one of the main differences that I've noticed right when I rode this bike is the intake sound. Yeah, the H2 has more of a whistle, like that flutter that people love, the chirp. That kind of sounds like a turbo, but this one has like that jet engine like suction sound. It's just like spooling up, like I don't even know how to make it. But I hope you guys get like what I'm trying to say, or hopefully you guys can hear it, even though I highly doubt it. But like even right now, just cruising, I hear it. Like the intake is just like sucking the air, and it just sounds so like every shift, like I always hear it. It's literally like a constant jet sound. So they actually sound pretty different, which is very surprising. I thought that the H2R is just gonna have like a louder kind of like whistle or something like that, but yeah, I guess not. I don't even know if it trips a lot. I'm not like revving it a lot or doing stuff like that because you know the bike still has like under 250 miles on it. The H2 definitely doesn't have like that suction jet sound. This one is definitely, as I said, since my H2 is lowered, it feels more stable and it feels easier to roll around in lower speeds. But this one definitely feels better when I want to like turn or like kind of just swap lanes, because when the bike is lowered, it doesn't lean. The geometry is different, and the bike feels more like heavy, like it doesn't want to turn or anything like that, which is good for, you know, high speed stuff like that, which is kind of what the H2 and the H2R are made for. But since this is a track bike, I don't know, kind of nice to have like two bikes different. And after the incident that happened with the H2 with the kickstand tipping over, if you lower it, you have to get an aftermarket kickstand, because these are adjustable, so your bike can be like on the kickstand. It wouldn't kind of like the kickstand is too long if you lower the bike. So it's kind of nice having a bike that, you know, I feel like I can still, like, it's such a heavy and fast bike, heaviest and craziest bike actually I have, but also like it feels not too bad. Like I can still throw it around. Like, yeah, it's night and day difference from like my V4R, but that's like, you know, all about being lightweight and powerful at the same time. So yeah, I kind of like the feel of it. The clutch feels smoother. Everything about this bike feels a bit smoother because it's more kind of like OEM, you know what I mean? When you start modifying and fine-tuning and doing other stuff, that's when it's like not as perfect. But yeah, I definitely feel more natural on my H2, just I think because of, you know, it's the highest mileage bike I have at like almost 10,000 miles, while this one barely has like 200 miles. So there's definitely difference, and also just the fact that this is the H2R is a bit more intimidating. Not really because of the horsepower. I feel like I've learned to, you know, like control the bike. I haven't tamed it yet, you know. You guys have seen the video of the H2 where I've tamed the H2, and pretty much was just launching it like light after light, not without launch control. I've done launch control on the H2, but never on the R. One day maybe we'll try that, even though that would be pretty scary. I did notice one thing about this bike that my H2 has. When you're barely on the throttle, kind of like right now, or like let's say even right, you see, now would have 100% done it. My H2 has something that says eco, so when I'm like barely rolling on the throttle, it's in like eco mode, which I'm assuming does something to helps your mile per gallon. This one doesn't have that, which makes sense because, you know, this H2R is the ultimate track bike. You don't need to save gas on this bike. Oh man, the auto blipper is night and day difference between this one and the H2. Not even comparable. This one is like so butter smooth. Honestly, it's like one of the softest ones I have. It does feel a little weird, I think mainly because of the supercharger. So I was told that the H2 kind of feels like it has that jolt or whatever when I installed the auto blipper. Because of the supercharger, because of boost. So when the quick shifter cuts off ignition or, you know, does its thing to shift, it's usually smooth, but because of the boost of the supercharger, it's kind of like different, and that's why it's not like smooth. But this one definitely sounds different. So Kawasaki must have figured out, you know, a way to do it without that jolt and with it being smooth. Yeah, I might need some tank pads on this bike too. I'm like sliding all over. The tank is so slippery. Also, let me know down in the comments below, how do you guys like this audio quality and image quality as well, because I am using the DJI. I told you guys that I'm due for an upgrade. I was using like an old GoPro Hero 7, which did the job, but I did a video with DJI with this camera. And a lot of you guys really liked the video quality and the audio quality, so I'm, you know, doing more testing and stuff like that, messing with it. And if you guys really like it, then we'll keep it. Oh my god, this bike just wants to lift in like every gear. This one's gonna be very fun and interesting to try and tame like I did with my H2. Yeah, see, it has a very interesting and weird blip, and has a little bit of a dead zone in the throttle. But yeah, this is the first time I kind of like ride them back to back in a way, so that's why I wanted to kind of like film this video and tell you guys kind of like the main differences that I've noticed between the two. I will do a side-by-side comparison, but this gives me a good enough kind of like idea of like, okay, you know, like this is different, this is different. So when I do that proper comparison, I can kind of go back and forth between them. Now obviously my H2 is tuned and got more work done to it, so that's why we'll do that comparison video when, sorry, I gotta check out the reflection. I've also gotta be careful here because they just redid these roads and they are horrible. They're literally like, look at this, oh my god. And turn it off since we don't have fans on this thing. But yeah, we got a ton more green titanium details on this bike, like a lot more. Like I'm gonna show you guys and you're gonna be like, what? Like the ones down here, the other side, the alternator and stuff like that. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, like all of these right here. So there is gonna be a decent amount of added titanium. We're actually also changing these pegs. H2R Racing, also courtesy of Daisuke Racing, they sent to me, they have new pegs for this rear set that are more like racy and they're lighter than this. They pretty much just like are a little cut out, so it's not that big of a difference, but still a difference that you guys, I don't know, might not notice, but it's upgraded. It's a racing one, so why not, you know? Do not hit the pallet and do not hit the Street Fighter. I did also order a high endurance chain or something like that. It's like the best, highest quality chain you can get, which is going to be all black, so no more of that silver. And also I am changing the sprockets. I'm going +1 in the front, which that does is pretty much like -3-ish in the rear. For those of you guys that don't know what sprocket sizing does and all that, by me doing +1 in the front this way, it's a little bit less torquey and more top end. I don't need the torque since this bike already has plenty of torque. You guys saw, like with barely any throttle, the bike is just lifting, so you know, it'll make it more usable. Plus, if I ever want to do more top speed runs, then that will be beneficial too. Usually you want to tune it to get it properly, you know, set up, especially because I have an air intake too, which we might do at some point. We'll see. We're gonna put it on a dyno, see how it runs, and go from there. Look at all the carbon tying together. This is the one I installed. We installed this piece together, so it's kind of like all together now. I'll just show you some of the other pieces. We already put this chain guard, this chain guard, the mud hugger, it's all one piece. This piece, that he didn't have the rivets last time, so this time he got them, and we're doing this piece as well. We got the sprocket cover. I kind of want to do something with the alternator cover. I don't know if they make like a carbon piece or I don't really know. Yeah, but the main events, which I'm going to show you here, yeah, and this piece right here that I installed last time, that was a horrible fit, so that's why I messed it up. But you know, you can't really see it. It's all about the little details, and some of your bikes are going to have battle scars. I also put that tank pad. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys like this tank pad or not. What do you think?
Nice. Looks good.
Now it flows like this. And now the main pieces. So this, well, if you guys can't tell, the center is going to be carbon, and this piece goes right here too. So this is going to be carbon. I got the full tail piece, so I even have these side fairings, but kind of want to keep some of this. I don't want to do a full tail in carbon. That's why I'm a little 50-50 about it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Possibly maybe put those side fairings on my actual H2, but I really like the chrome, so I don't know. I'm very indecisive with that. But yeah, so we're gonna do the center in carbon because, you know, more carbon for this bike. And the main event, well, there's actually multiple main events. These are the pegs that I told you guys about. So, you know, I guess by them cutting this out, it makes it more like lightweight and it looks different. It's a little more sporty. So yeah, that actually looks pretty good. These are supposed to be the race ones. We also have, as I said, a ton of titanium stuff. I'm gonna have to look on what's what, but I think these guys are these ones right here for the triple tree.
Oh, okay.
I forgot what these are for. Some of them are for the alternator cover, and I think maybe either this or these are for the bottom right here. Yeah, so I'll double check on exactly which ones are which and everything, but yeah, we have more coming, but these are being custom made specifically for my bike. But yeah, we're finally now getting, oh yeah, this piece that I told you guys about that we didn't do it last time. So that's gonna go on the swing arm cover right here. It's gonna make it look pretty nice. This is the main event, and I think that's gonna be the hardest, biggest job, and that is a full carbon subframe. So hopefully this fits good. Hopefully it doesn't give us a big deal. And I also want to weigh this one and weigh the stock, because I weighed this one and I think these ones are like half the weight. I think this is, or maybe a little bit more than half the weight, but you know, these don't change too much. I mainly did this for the cosmetics, but you know, it's a big job, that's why I never did it on the H2, but I think this is gonna look sick. It's on the other side, but whatever. It's gonna tie all the carbon, and then it goes from here and then the center. So that's the vision that I have for this bike, with a lot of titanium. And also let me show you guys the seat and the seat cover, and then we'll start doing all this stuff. So this piece is the piece that goes here, H2R, with the green stitching, and the kind of like, it's almost like a, I don't know, I forgot the name of it. It's kind of like a rough. It's not like a suede. But then we have this seat. I kept the main look similar to the H2, but changed the design in the center. My H2 had the like kind of hexagon looking things. We added my logo up here on this kind of like same rough material of that, but the seat itself is suede, and we have green stitching over here, green stitching all over here. So as I said, very, very custom, very new design. I think fits it. It's a little less green because I feel like the H2R is more about like the details over the, like lines and stuff like that. So that's why we didn't have all the stitching in the middle as green. It might be too much. But yeah, so hopefully everything is gonna fit well. I think this is everything. We obviously have the other side of this thing. This thing is a very big, heavy, bulky piece. So hopefully this fits well and doesn't give us issues. But yeah, let's see where this is gonna go. And I'll resume when we, I don't know, hopefully get the bike done. Fingers crossed.